Hi everyone, welcome to my latest video. In this one I'm going to be doing more of a refurbishment than a restoration. I am updating a gorgeous mid-century collectible oak petite desk that is covered in a dated orange stain, and I want to just modernize it really, and changing the hardware as well because one of the doorknobs is broken anyway. So that's what I'm doing. So I'd love you to stick with me through the before, during and after, and give me your comments at the end as to whether you think I've improved it or made it more modern, or whether you prefer the old. Okay, so here's the desk. The bottom drawer is somewhere. It's just gone missing for the minute, but the bottom drawer is identical to the top two. And it's gotten lost somewhere in my workshop. I couldn't find it. I will find it. So you can see from this that it's in really good condition, but it does have that orange dated look, and you can see that the top drawer knob is broken, but we'll be fixing all of that up. So I've decided to start on the drawers, and I've just sanded. I've started to sand the front of that one. And I'll just speed it up for you while I work on these drawers. So I've sanded the drawers, and I'm just going to apply a coat of oxalic acid on each one of them. There are some minor stains, really. I could almost get away with not doing it, but I've decided to do it. It does help to create an even tone on timber furniture by removing blemishes and stains of certain kinds, such as water-based or rust or iron-based stains, and a few others. And oxalic acid you can purchase. It's a crystallized substance. You purchase it from your hardware shop, or you can get it online, and it's usually 1 part oxalic acid to about 8 or 9 parts quite warm water. Stir in a. I've got mine in a jar, and just paint it on. Leave it for a few hours or overnight, which is what I do, and then the next day come along and just, with a wet cloth, even with a bit of mild detergent on it, wipe it off to corrupt the bleaching process. So on this desk that I'm doing, I've done my 3 drawers. They're drying at the moment after having oxalic acid on them. And I've just taken out off camera, because I thought that was a bit boring for you, all these screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I cannot get 7, 8 and 9 out. I've WD'd 40 them. So I'm going to have to do it the hard way. Ideally I would like to take this top off, just hang back so you can see what I'm on about. Desk is upside down, that's the top. I wanted to detach all of this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I got my neighbour Trevor to come over and see if he could reef them out with his super strength and super screwdrivers, and he couldn't do it either. So that's it. I've got to do it with the body and the top connected and the legs connected, unfortunately. I'll just explain here too why I'm using a sander straight in. So normally, if a lacquer is quite thick or a finish is quite thick, I'll use the carbide scraper or a paint stripper or a lacquer thinner. But this lacquer was so thin and old and dated, it's just coming off so easily. I've just decided to use my sander. So I'm using an 80 grit sanding disc. I think I used 2 for the entire desk. And a little bit of hand sanding. You notice me using that little yellow tool for some of them, or corners and crevicey bits. Okay, so just showing you where I'm up to. So the entire base of the desk has now been sanded with an 80 grit. I will be doing a 150 after that, and I'll be finishing off with probably with a 600 before I do anything else. But before I go ahead and do any of that, after doing this 80 grit sand, it'll be getting an oxalic acid treatment once I finish the top. But just showing you where I'm up to. So I'll do the top next. And you can really see the orange in the top. It's quite obvious on camera. I don't think it's been as obvious as it is now. Quite how orange and, glorious in its own time, but quite dated now, that colour is for this desk. Again, using 80 grit, a sandpaper disc for the top of the desk, and I'm not pressing, it might look like I'm pressing hard, but really I'm just very light on. The sander is doing all the work, the lacquer is very thin, and it's just abrasing it off easily, no effort. Just applying some oxalic acid now to the rest of the desk after doing the drawers, just to keep the tone even and match everything. So up until now I've only used 80 grit sandpaper because of the oxalic acid treatment. So the oxalic acid treatment, the wet of it will open up pores. So it's not until after I've completed this treatment that I'll then go in with 150 and upward, finer grit sandpaper to close those pores up a little bit, ready for staying. So by now the oxalic acid treatment has worked all the way through, and now I'm just I've already gone over it with a 150 grit sandpaper, followed by a 220 I think it was, and now I'm onto the final. You don't need to watch all of that. Now I'm onto the final stage of using a 600 grit sandpaper so that the timber is as smooth as I can possibly get. It's feeling really good, really smooth. This is my 600 grit hand sanding as the final. And it's just lovely. The colour looks even into my eye. I'm not sure about how it's coming across on camera, but it looks good. And it's almost ready for taking stain. The best way to test if your timber is ready for staining and as smooth as butter is just touch it. Just touch it and you'll know it when you feel it. It feels like it's so smooth when it's right and ready. It shouldn't feel rough, it shouldn't feel like you could get a splinter, it should feel extremely smooth. I don't have one of those fancy little hand blowy tools yet, so I have to use my leaf blower. It works. It's so cumbersome. So the stain that I'm going to use on this desk is I borrowed from a YouTube friend of mine. So her channel is called Flip to Thrive and her name is Jade, and I was watching one of her videos recently where she used this exact colour on a piece of furniture and it looked so delicious. And it's called the actual colour is called Brazilian Roast. And it's from the brand Cabot in Australia. And now I don't know if it's pronounced Cabots, C-O-B-O-T, or Cabots, C-O-B-O silent T. I'm not sure, but it's available at Bunnings for anyone that's watching this that's Australian. And you do have to actually go to the counter and get them to mix it up. It's on one of their charts in the stain section. And now this colour, it's hopefully later on in the video it'll really show. It's hard to see because there is a bit of sunlight shining on that, but it is delicious. It looks like a nice beautiful cup of coffee colour or even hot chocolate. Nice. And thanks Jade again. I know she didn't give it to me, but I pinched her idea. But do check out her channel, Jade, at Flip to Thrive, all one word. With stain, it works best to paint it on with a paintbrush or even a rag, but then give it a bit of a wipe off with a lint-free rag afterwards, just to make sure it's all blended and it's all the same and it's all even, and of course in the, both paint it on and wipe it off in the direction of the grain that you're working on. So one side, most of it's pretty much been done now. This is just the back side of it. Okay, so the desk is pretty much done with the exception of some sort of varnish or protective layer. So I'm just moving back to the drawers. So the drawers, as you recall, were already sanded, treated with oxalic acid, but now I need to do the finer sanding on the drawers as well to build them up so that they're as smooth as a, oh, can you say baby's bum on YouTube? Anyway, I just did. And ready for staining as well. The drawers are all done now, so now I'm just doing a second coat of the stain. I wasn't happy with just one coat. It just seemed to be a bit thin and not as rich as I wanted. So I'm doing a second coat of the stain. And I end up being very happy with it. Second coat was what it needed. So the staining's all done, and now we're just up to the final part, which is applying the top coat or the protective layer, and I'm going to go with Gilboy's Antique Gold Hard Wax, and I'm going to apply it with a 40 steel wool. And what applying it with 40 steel wool will further smooth out the wood, and with the polish going on as well, the wax going on as well, it will give it a real satiny, extra smooth feel. And already, look at that, you can see immediately that that wood stain with the wax application on top is deepening and richening so well. I don't know if you can see that. You might need a comparative piece to see it, but that is absolutely gorgeous. You can really start to notice it here because you can see where I haven't done it and then where I have done it. And it's just beautiful. I'm not saying this is the nicest wax in the world, but it is the nicest wax that I have found. And I have a few waxes that I really like, but because this one is designed to give it an antique finish, which is an unusual kind of wax, and it really does do that. It just loves furniture so well. It just takes it from a level of beautiful and takes it up to superb, absolutely superb. After the Gilboy's wax has been applied, or any wax really, well, I do it anyway, is it always needs buffing out with a lint-free cloth, just to ensure that there's an even tone throughout the whole waxing process. Same process with the drawers. Nearly done. Keen to hear your thoughts of the before and after. So with the inside of the drawers, I was unable to disassemble the drawers. Look, I would have been able to, but it was quite a dramatic undertaking because there was binding over and surrounding the bits where normally a drawer bottom would be attached to a drawer, and I just decided not to go there. So with this one, I'm just giving the inside and the base a simple clean with Simple Green actually. I'm not going to attempt to get those stains off. They're just cleaned. I'm cleaning the stains, so they're nice and clean. They did lighten up a little bit actually during that. And I'm just going to go over it with a walnut stained, I think I used Restore Finish from memory, just to colour up the drawers a little bit. So this is the final clip before I show you the before and after, or the reveal. I do hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed the video. It wasn't a full restoration this time, just a refurbishment in my opinion. But yeah, I still hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to seeing what you thought. Also, just to mention that my next project, which I've been working almost in tandem with this one, which I'll pop up probably in a week, is a lovely Art Deco side table that needed a good amount of work. Hope you tune in for that one.